Are you ready to boost your confidence when selling so you're able to close more deals? Nikki Roush will show you how to build a foundation of skills and a mindset that creates sales success without feeling pushy or salesy and without fear of rejection. She is a sales strategist and coach with more than 25 years of sales experience and is master certified in neuro-linguistic programming. This is a radically different approach to selling. It's a no sleaze, no slime, and no stress approach to building your business. This is Sales Maven. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Roush, your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips, techniques, and strategies to master that sales conversation. Today's episode is one of my favorites because it's an on-air coaching call with one of our very own Sales Maven Society members. Today with us is Rebecca Tam. Rebecca, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here from a distance.
I'm so happy to have you here. Well, tell the listeners about you and your business, where you are, what your business is, and what you do.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Rebecca Tam. I own Michigan Massage and Wellness. And no surprise, we're located in Michigan. And we do massage and wellness coaching. We are in the suburbs of Metro Detroit. We're located in Troy, Michigan. And I have been a massage therapist since 2003. So 17 years this month was when I graduated from massage school.
Congratulations.
And I have had, thank you. Yeah, considering the lifespan of a massage therapist is 7 years, I'm well ahead of the curve, but I feel like I should be near retirement by now. And I have owned my practice, Michigan Massage and Wellness, since 2004. So it's going to be 16 in October. I guess that means I have to buy it a car or something for its birthday. But we specialize in specialty services. I have two massage therapists that are working for me. And my approach, my personal or professional practice is more targeted pain relief. I like to call my clients Humpty Dumpty. They break themselves and I put them back together. Mm. And we also have two very wonderful therapists, Brenda and Naomi, who can, just put you to sleep for an hour if that's what you want as well. So we have the best of both worlds. We have the chronic pain, pre and post-surgical rehab, if you want to call it. And then we also have the, you don't want to punch a wall and break your hand. So come and lay on a table for an hour and forget about your problems, because especially right now, everybody's got problems.
Yes. So funny. I just finished right before we are recording this podcast episode. I was doing a group coaching program that I have, my premier group coaching program. And when we were just kind of checking in at the very beginning, somebody was talking about I have a haircut scheduled this week, and we were all celebrating like, yay for you. We're all so excited about, getting our haircut now that things are starting to open back up after COVID. And then one other person was like, the thing that I can't wait to get more than anything is a massage. And I thought of you. I was like, yeah, I'll bet so many of your clients are saying that right now. Like, I can't wait to get Rebecca's hands back on me, right?
Yeah, we had, because we were closed for 3 months. And I just started, we had tentatively planned on opening on July 6th. And last week, I put my phone down for an hour and I came back. I looked at it. I had 15 text messages, and most of them were from clients saying, hey, you get to open on June 15th. And I was like, wait, what? I don't know that. I haven't checked the news. And so, now it's kind of a mad dash to get everything in place, but I'm really excited. And, again, to be coming back after 3 months of not touching anybody. Hopefully it's like riding a bike and I don't forget how to do my job.
I don't think you've forgotten, but I'm so excited for you, for your business, and more than anything for your clients who just love you. So super excited for that to happen. Of course, when this airs, you'll have already been back in the swing of things, and it'll be like, and
I'll be so tired because I'm working again.
Yeah. Just yesterday when you're like, remember when I had some time off, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to chat with you today and find out how can I be of service to you? What would be helpful for you right now around sales and around your business? How can I serve you?
So last year I had my hand, and especially when I met you at Biz Chicks Live, I had all these huge dreams and aspirations of, getting outside of the treatment room and starting to do more things like, with my online stretching and mobility program. I wanted to expand on that and kind of build another brand outside of the treatment room, start doing, more classes and workshops and doing on-site wellness and all those things. And, it's funny because when you lose the ability to do something you've been doing for almost 20 years, in my case, massage and body work, when you can't do it for 3 months, it really helped me realign my goals and also take a deeper look at how I wanted my practice to be and what I wanted to do with that. So I've kind of shifted a little bit, and not that those other things aren't a priority, but right now my number one priority is getting our doors open, getting our clients back in safely, but also, I want Michigan Massage and Wellness to be the Cheers of Metro Detroit. I want people to come like everybody knows your name. Right. And we have a wonderful group of our core clients, and, my clients, they've been with me. I'm still with my very first client that started in November of 2003. And that's what I really want to highlight is what sets Michigan Massage and Wellness apart from, the franchise places and the places that are a lot cheaper than us, because, we're not the cheapest, we're not the most expensive either, but I really want to highlight what makes us different and why people want to come to Michigan Massage and Wellness, and, really work on our messaging a little bit more, both with email marketing and also how I might be able to train my staff into delivering, the same type of, not only hands-on service, like literally when we put our hands on people, but also the communication, before and after the session, and how I might help them improve their skill set, their confidence and everything. And what this whole break has taught me, because I'm really looking at it as a reset for my business. And, because after 17 years, I'm not where I want to be. And I'm looking back, and it's like, okay, I don't want to say I made mistakes, but again, this is kind of, a fresh start. So I'm ready to hit the ground running, and I'm ready to really step it up and step into more of a leadership role for my staff and still be in the treatment room, but also step more into that CEO role as well. So I feel like I've got two different personas. I've got the CEO of Michigan Massage and Wellness, and then a massage therapist who works at Michigan Massage and Wellness, because also what this has shown me over the last 3 months is I never want to be completely out of the treatment room. Scale back? Absolutely. Retire completely? Never. Because I love what I do. So that's kind of where we're at is, become the Cheers of the massage industry in Detroit.
Okay. Well, one of the things I think from a sales perspective that is super important is the way that the culture that you create. I think that's really important. And so when you talk about, wanting to be the Cheers of Michigan in the massage world, and specifically in your area, is I would really chunk that down. So chunking is an NLP term, but I would really chunk that down and get specific about what would that actually mean? Like, what does it mean to be the Cheers? So when you say everybody knows your name, so then how do you recognize your patients in the way that you create this, the way that everybody knows your name? Like when somebody walks in, Do everybody who's out in the front say, hey, Joan, right? Is it that? But I would get really specific, because one of the things that hurts most businesses and really most relationships is that we talk everything at a very surface level and we never dive down into the specifics. So I would create, what are the specifics? Because in order for that to happen, your team needs like step-by-step approach in order to create this, right? So this also leads to your CEO role of being the leader, is giving them some really concrete things that is going to lead to making you the cheers of the massage practice. And then what are some ways that you can really highlight your clientele, right? And that could be on social media, that can be in your newsletter. But think about one of the things that people often, I think, miss a step, and I think of this as a sales technique, is I call it pouring love on people. And so not just saying like, hey, thanks, John, for the referral, but go above and beyond. And that's like, yeah, thanks. Okay, that's nice to be thanked. But what could you do to really highlight John in this particular case that starts to create the culture that he is a part of? Like, he's a part of this, because most of us want to be a part of things. So how can you pour love all over John in like publicly, right? And obviously with his permission, but maybe you really highlight him or something about him in your newsletter. And, with again, his permission, but also on social media, and just like go above and beyond. I do this when I'm doing introductions too. I always try to pour love on the people that I'm introducing to. I'm trying to think, I probably haven't done an introduction for you, but you'll never get an email that says, hey, Rebecca, meet Sarah, Rebecca. Like, I'm going to go above and beyond and say, like, here's what I know about Rebecca. Like, she is brilliant. And in her 3 months, I also know she learned how to be this brilliant baker of sourdough bread. She has this amazing practice. She's done this, phenomenal training inside the member to member area of Sales Maven Society. And so I'd probably talk about the stretches that you've taught us. But really go above and beyond. Don't just leave it at like real surface level. Get specific, because that is going to be what really draws people in to you. So highlight them the best that you can, and then help your team get some strategy around how to highlight people as well. So it could be that maybe you give your team some suggestions on things to look for, or things to pay attention to, or things to start to track about certain clients, so that when they come back in, they feel the love, right? And they feel the appreciation.
Yeah. And that's something, and again, because, when you've been in practice for as long as I have, I joke, like I have one client who he's been with me for 12 years now. He comes in every week, and, I joke that we're like an old married couple, because he gets on the table, I start stretching him, he asks me a question, and as I'm answering, he's snoring, and that's just how it is. And, and also too, because massage is such a personal, intimate experience, because we're putting our hands on people, and yeah, we're their massage therapists, but we also turn into like their psychotherapists, and because we do build these relationships with our clients, and, we know, like, and I always say, that's what sets us apart from all those other places where you can call and get an appointment in 20 minutes. You're going to walk in, you're not going to know what therapist you're seeing. They're not going to know your history. They're not going to know, what type of music you like, or your table temperature, pressure, anything. Where, we know it's like with us, you come in, you get on the table, and, we do a thorough intake for every new client. And then each, return session, we take a couple of minutes before and just ask, like, how are you? How are you doing? Because again, it's not just about having another body on the table and getting paid after. It's about, we want to know, like, what's happening in their lives, because also too, like, physiologically, the toll that stress can take, like physically, mentally, emotionally, everything, that's going to affect how people are feeling and how their body is moving. So, we really, I feel like we do a good job of that already, but now the challenge, or I guess my next challenge is, how do we put that out there for new potential clients? And, we've got page after page of like glowing testimonials and people always say, oh, I found you on Google. Your reviews are really great. And also part of it too is as I'm kind of starting to phase myself out, I want to put more of the focus on my team. And, unfortunately, I have someone who she's been with me for almost 2 years and she's, building up her clientele. And then I have another therapist who just graduated last year. So she's, she was with us for a month before we had to shut down. So she's like really starting over. I really want to work, with my team to build their confidence and skill set and communication skills. But, it's also like, how's the best way to approach that, without people feel like they're being attacked or criticized, which they absolutely are not. But again, like you said, pour the love out, like make everybody feel like they're the most important person in our practice.
Well, and that I would say extend that to the other people who are on your team, right? How can you pour love onto them as well? And how can you highlight them to your clientele? Right. So,
So I have like blog posts and pages on my website for each of them, like with their bio, so they can get to know, because like one person loves my one therapist because, they talk about their dogs all day and travel. And that's it. Like we, especially with looking for our ideal clients, we want to find, again, we're not going to take just anybody to walk through our doors. We're very much about building relationships and, having things in common, and, just building on that.
Well, what if you did something where when people are coming into the office, it could be like, I'm not the most creative, but it could be something where it's like a whiteboard and you share something like super interesting about the people who are coming in today. Now you have to be careful, right? I don't know if there's HIPAA or any of that kind of stuff, but it could be like, to the client who comes in, who's been with you for 12 years, like so excited that we're in our 12th year of working together, right? And there's like a little note to him, but everybody gets to see the notes. And now we're starting to build some like camaraderie or like, I don't know the name of your team member. So I'm just going to make up like Emily, super excited to talk to you today, Sarah, about what the dogs have done since your last, talk or something that's really personal. And then everybody gets to see that. And it starts to create this culture of like, oh, this is more than just coming in, having this quiet time. Like this is a community here. Because even with the membership and, when there's membership is such a big thing right now, I think in the marketplace, at least certainly is for me too, right? Sales Maven Society is like people will come for the content, but they stay for the community. And for you right now, it's going to be all about building community and figuring out what that piece is for your group and what makes sense without it being, we don't want to alienate clients, but at the same time, we do want to make people feel loved on by us, appropriately loved on by us. Yeah. And then for the communication side for your team is having some candid conversations and asking them to share. Like, I love as a leader to ask people like, what's working right now? What would you like to see some improvement on? And what isn't working? And that and have a suggestion around, like really get clear and allowing for your team to share. Years ago, when I was managing a sales team of like 24 sales reps, I remember I put out this questionnaire and all of my other fellow managers thought I'd like lost my mind because they're like, why would you open yourself up to criticism? But I was like, I want to grow as a leader. And I put out this thing that was like, I still use these today sometimes. I did the red light, yellow light, green light. So green light what are the things you really like about my leadership style? What's really working for you in our relationship? Yellow light, what's something that, is okay, but would like to see some improvement on? And red is something that I'm doing that is detracting from you having, being successful at your work. And I allowed for it to be anonymous. It's a little hard for you when you have a small team of 2, right? But allowing for some of that discussion to happen, because there's nothing better than implementing an idea that everybody feels like was theirs, right? So allowing them to be a part of that discussion. And same with when you can get your clients involved in things that make business sense for you, like when it becomes this community, they get to then invite other people into the community.
Yeah. And, it's funny because that's something, both of those, again, I've decided I want to be able to pour more into my staff and my team and help them grow into, I don't want to say mini-me's, but kind of mini-me's, because again, there's a reason why I still have clients after 17 years, after 12 years, after 10 years, that they're still coming in regularly. They have standing appointments booked for the rest of the year. And I want everybody who works for me to have that same success, to have that same confidence. And, I'm definitely a little more, it's funny, I'm quite an introvert, but I find, I can be really outgoing in the right situations. And I really want to pour into my team and help them grow and again, help them be successful. And I have been thinking that I need to, I never thought about doing like a survey for my staff, but that's a great idea and something I'm definitely going to work on. But I also want to put together a type of survey for my clients. Like, how can we better serve you if there's something you're not happy with? And I think that too, just make a short like Google form or something, let people fill it out. But because I want to hear from our clients, I want to hear, we got an appointment request from a not really, semi-regular client. And she had seen one of our staff members and she said, no, it was good. It was just a little different. So she prefers, to see me or another therapist, which, we're all going to have our preferences. Like, I'm not the therapist for everybody either, but, I really want to kind of dig a little bit deeper with all of our clients and, say like, hey, if you haven't been to see us for 6 months or a year, what's stopping you? How can we help you? So that's a really great idea. And I guess jumping off of that is like, what kind of questions would I want to be asked in like a customer satisfaction survey type situation?
So again, I'm going to go back to this word specificity. The more specific you can be in your questions, the easier it is for you to get answers that are not surface level. So we got to go a little bit deeper. So think about the questions. I don't know if you've gone through this training inside the Sales Maven Society around the discovery process that I have. I call it All Roads is the name of the training. I can't remember what unit it is off the top of my head, but I'll get it for you if you're interested. But thinking about asking questions, and when I say all roads, your questions all should lead back to hiring you or working with you or giving you really candid feedback. So one of the questions I always love to ask is, what's important to you about your massage therapist? Or you could also say like, what's important to you about our practice and you deciding to come here. So you got to ask that question, like, what's important to you? You could also be asking like, what's your criteria? Or what are, sometimes you have to give a little more specifics, like what are 3 criteria for a good massage for you?
Okay.
Right. Like asking something about like criteria, because that's going to be something that we want to be aware of. Like for some people, it's going to be a little bit different, but we're also looking for structure. Like what are some of the consistent answers? Because those are things that you're going to want to implement right away. The other thing would be, what, if anything, do you wish we knew about you? Or what, if anything, do you wish we would do and at the start of your appointment or at the end of your appointment, right? Like you could add this when you give a specific question that allows for somebody their brain will start thinking of like, what's the answer to that specific question? Like at the start of the session, well, it'd be nice if, you were more specific about how much time I have to get ready or what I should take off or leave on, right? Like any of that kind of stuff would be useful to get back from people. Another question would be, how would you describe our service to a friend? Right? Like, because what we're also looking for there is some of those key phrases and key words. Because in your marketing, you're going to get like, oh, these are the key phrases that attract somebody to our practice versus somebody else's. This is what our clients are saying. This is what the people who pay us money are looking for. So yeah, asking some specific questions versus like, what do you like? That's too general.
Right. Okay. So, and jumping back, I have like, what, if anything, do you wish we knew about you? And then what was the other one kind of following that? Because I have like, what are 3 criteria for a good massage? I don't remember what I said, so we'll have to listen back in the episode of what the question was. But I think I might have even said like, what, if anything, do you wish we offered? Like you could say that, like, what additional service do you wish that we offered? Okay.
That might be something else to ask.
Okay. And then what about like, is there anything we're not doing now that you wish we were doing?
Yeah. So the way to frame that question is, what, if anything, are we not doing now that you wish we would do?
Okay.
And I think that's going to give you a place to start with this idea of like some questions for your team, and think about how you can turn these questions into questions that you could give to your team too, right? Around the practice, around you as a leader, around things that they wished were an offer, because this actually might spur an idea for them of an offer that you guys hadn't thought about offering to your clients yet that would be like a great big seller for you, right? And then also asking your clients these questions too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, these are great. And yeah, like I said, I've been wanting to do kind of a customer satisfaction survey for a little bit, but mine were much more surface questions. I didn't think of these, like really, because, people can answer, oh, I think it's great. Well, what makes it great? So, I think having these are going to really make them think a little bit deeper too. So, I think a good start for this, and tell me if, you have any different ideas, but, I want to take, because we have almost 1,000 names on our email list right now, but our open rate is really low and we don't have 1,000 clients coming in. So, we have, again, the same, kind of 60 to 80 appointments a month. So I think it's a good start to reach out to, like, number one, our VIPs, asking them that, and then, kind of going down the list. And then we have like our semi-regulars, but, it would also be a great opportunity to reach out to people who came in maybe once or twice and we didn't see them again. Like how, because we do have some of our email marketing is just on autopilot, like through our booking software, and it'll send after 3 months, like, hey, we haven't seen you for a while. Did we do something wrong? And, we've gotten a couple of responses back where they say, oh no, everything was great. Like I moved, or I'm just really busy. And so that's good feedback, but this is really great. So I'm very excited to get going with that.
And I'm going to give you a potential subject line for one of these, and you can decide if you want to use this or not. I used this and had some pretty really, I'm going to say I was shocked at how many responses that I got and the types of responses that I got. And my subject line is, may I ask you a question?
Okay.
And when I don't just ask a vague question, I will say that I asked one question and then I give some bulleted potential answers, which I usually do between 3 and 5 bullets. So the question could be whatever you want it to be. In my case, I think the question that I asked is, what's your biggest challenge in regards to sales? And then I said, is it, and then I gave like, closing the sale? Is it finding clients to talk to? You have to give people's brains something to like glom onto, to associate with, to go, well, it's not those things, Nikki, it's this. So I gave 4 bulleted lists, like options. And then the fifth one is I said, or something else, ... And every single person who responded back to my question, I actually created a little Loom video back to them with a suggestion and an answer. And then I issued an invitation for them to take another step with me. And it was like, and now I'm sitting here telling you about this and I'm like, oh, I need to do this again because it was so fun to get people's responses, and how many people actually took the time to answer the question. And again, the idea is how can we increase your open rate, right? So getting a better subject line is super important. And then getting people to actually take some action and send back some type of response. And the way that you get them to take action and send back a response is you make it really easy for them to answer it. So give them something to start with. Now, it could be that you want to send them to, maybe you ask one question initially and then you thank them for taking the time and see if they're willing to then fill out the survey.
Okay. So like if I sent this kind of introductory email, may I ask you a question? And then, because I don't want to just like throw this whole survey out to everybody, right? So send it out and then, just say like, you are a valued client, friend of Michigan Massage and Wellness, and in an effort to continually improve our offerings and how we interact with people, or something like that. I'll for sure be posting it in the society before I send it out for feedback. But would I, then could I go to the bullet points and say like, what keeps you coming back to Michigan Massage and Wellness? Is it, the convenience? Is it the service? Or something else? And then would I want to include that same, in that same email, if you have a moment, would you mind filling out this 5-question survey?
Yeah.
So
you could absolutely do it there.
Okay.
Yes. I would say just thinking of what is going to be useful to you, I might suggest that the question that you pose is, what's your criteria for a good massage? Is it this, or this? Like, I might start with that question. I think the question that you posed would also work too, but think about what do you really, really, really want to know from people and ask that question first.
Okay. So like what makes a good massage therapist to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's, how do you determine if somebody is a good massage therapist?
Okay.
Or what's your criteria for a good massage therapist?
Okay, perfect.
That might also be useful.
All right, great. Yeah, I will for sure work on this and then post it.
Okay.
And then email it out.
Yes. All right. Well, as we kind of wrap this up, I always like to end with 2 questions. So you've got some stuff to go and work on, and I'm excited for you to post it in the society and also share with us, like, how does it go? But so one question for you is, what's been one benefit you've received as being a member of the Sales Maven Society?
Being able to do something like this, have an on-air coaching call, and then also before I hit send, being able to post it in the group and get feedback, not only from everyone else in the group, but you personally, having that instant kind of lifeline to Nikki. How you're kind of like our, phone a friend.
I love being your phone a friend.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
so
good.
I love just, being able to get that, constructive feedback before we hit send, and, and sometimes, because when I've posted in there before, sometimes it's just like 1 or 2 little tweaks, but it changes the whole message. So I love just having you available.
Awesome. Well, we love having you in the group. Thank you so much. All your questions and contributions really do contribute to the community and making it as amazing as it is. So thank you for that. Now, my last question, I'm going to preface it though, because I want to make sure that we highlight something about your business, but I want you to talk a little bit about how people can find out more about you. And before I actually let you answer, I do want to talk about this idea that you have these online courses for stretching. And as a Sales Maven Society person, I got the benefit of one of these trainings that you did, because in April, I did a call out for the members where I offered you guys an opportunity to do a member to member training, that you got to record a training, and we actually house the trainings inside the Sales Maven Society. So members can go in there and check it out. And it was a way to highlight your expertise. And you gave 2 stretches in this training that you did for us in 7 minutes that I was like, oh my gosh, this was so awesome. And I think people who watched it, they were all like, this is amazing. It was super helpful, especially for those of us who sit all the time. So when I'm asking you how people can find out more about you, would you also share how people can access some of your online stretching courses?
Yes. So you can find us pretty much anywhere at Michigan Massage and Wellness. So michiganmassageandwellness.com. You can search on Facebook, Michigan Massage and Wellness, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think we're on Twitter. I don't do Twitter, but Facebook is where you'll find me the most. That's where I spend the most amount of time. I also have a free self-care group. If you search School for Self-Care, it should pop up. And on that note, my online stretching and mobility program, it is called Stretch Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself.
Nice.
And let me ask you, what stretch did you like more? The neck or the hip?
Oh, you know what? I need both for sure.
Yeah.
So
everybody needs both.
The hip one, though, I was surprised at what kind of relief and stretch that it did offer to me. Yeah. So I'm going to, as much as I love anything that involves releasing tension around my neck, the hip one was incredibly useful. So thank you so much.
Good. Oh, you're welcome. Yes. So I created that program because, again, as I get a little bit older and start thinking about what else I want to do, because I love fixing people. But the last couple of years, as I've started teaching, I found I really love teaching people how to fix themselves and get them to take accountability and ownership for what's going on in their body. Because I like to tell people, I'm only responsible for you for the 60 minutes you're on my table. Because if you decide to go out right after your session and deadlift 400 pounds, that's kind of on you if you're not going to do anything after. So I developed this program, and it's actually great right now because so many of us are still working from home. Gyms are still closed, yoga studios are still closed. So I wanted to give people the tools that they could use virtually anywhere. And, I hate when you go onto YouTube and you look up a stretch, and first of all, you have to wade through like thousands of videos. And then also you have to listen to someone talk for 10 minutes before they actually get to the stretch. Mm-hmm. And some people, I hate to say it, some people are so boring. And I've tried to watch training videos or something, or a mobility something. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so boring. So my approach is a different one. I get in, show you the stretch, get out, get you on with your day. Most all those stretches can be done in 5 minutes or less. And I filmed everything in my living room to show you don't need a lot of space or equipment or anything. You need I think there's two pieces of equipment that I use in the whole program. And what's nice about it too, because it is short, people aren't, if they're pressed for time, they can just say like, oh, I need a hip stretch, and go search for the hip ones. But they can also create their own little self-care routine. It's like, okay, I want to commit to doing 10 minutes a day of mobility work, and my shoulder is really bothering me today. So go watch all the shoulder videos and work your way through. So, Self-Care School is kind of my little working title for everything. And, my big goal is to have a whole online library for people. I want to break it down, do specific courses like self-care for shoulders, self-care for feet, and also I have like my grand master plan, which I don't want to say because I don't want anybody to steal it, who's more motivated than I am to get it done. But that's kind of the big picture is, helping people outside of the treatment room, and whether they're in California, New Zealand, Iceland, wherever, that they'll have access to it.
Okay. So if they search for Stretch Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself, is that how they're going to find it?
Yeah. Or they can go to selfcareschool.thinkific.com.
Okay, great. Perfect.
But also if you go to my website, michiganmassageandwellness.com, you can see it on there as well. There.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, for being here and for sharing, and super excited to hear how the emails go and the campaign around pouring love all over your staff and also onto your clients and building that strong community, having the cheers experience, which I think everybody's going to love. So thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you for listening. Those of you as listeners, appreciate your feedback and your reviews. So thank you for that. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.